Good morning. So today we're going to have a good look at Spotlight reporting, and I've got Spotlight reporting open on my screen, and I'm just going to take you around it. So I'll show you the main highlights. There are one, two, three, four, five products available, which are all totally different within Spotlight reporting. So Spotlight reporting can do absolutely, obviously, reporting, so financial reporting, and I'll show you that in a minute. There's then a tab for forecasting, which makes it go green. So in here, there's the cash flow forecast. Now, the cash flow forecast is a three-way forecast. So that means that the P&L, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement all talk to each other. And you can just change any sort of markers, drivers, any rules within the P&L, the balance sheet, and it will absolutely throw out what the cash impact is of that and produce a nice, pretty report for your client on that. I've got dashboards. Dashboards are just a one pager report. So maybe for your smaller clients who just want a one page financial statement to just show them some nice, pretty graphs and how they're doing that month or that quarter. Spotlight Multi, as you can see, I've got some clients set up in here, and this is basically it's a tool for a huge consolidation. So if you've got a big beast of a consolidation to do, multi-entity, you can do it within reporting, but you can also do it within multi if it's a big one. Multi is also set up very nicely for franchises, so you can then compare and contrast and benchmark the different entities against each other. So I'll show you that in a minute. And then Spotlight Sustain, which I think is wonderful. And this is ESG reporting, so environmental social governance reporting, and again produces some very, very nice looking reports in an ESG style, which I can show you briefly towards the end of this video, and for your clients. So taking you into the new age. Let me show you one by one what each one does. So in reporting, if I just take you into Bertie's Biscuits, Bertie's Biscuits is a report that I've set up. Let's go left to right. So you always go left to right up here. So you can import your data. Now you can import your data from all of the normal places, Xero, QuickBooks Online, Sage 50, QuickBooks Desktop. You can also import from Google Sheets, from Excel. So I won't do it again, but in here, you just literally tell Xero what dates you'd like to import the data from. You can import tracking categories as well with Xero, which are obviously called classes within QBO, and you can import the budget if you have one. So all you do is bring your data into Spotlight. You can see which financial year it is at the top, and then along here, you've got tracking categories if you have them. I don't have them with my data, but you could allocate the tracking categories in there. And you can see that all of the whites data is what's coming from Xero in this case. So from my dummy data. And it's literally, you don't have to do a thing here apart from look at it and check that it looks okay. So I've got all my account details on the left, and this is the P&L obviously to start with, and then it moves over to the balance sheet. So I'll take you through that shortly. Whites are actuals and figures in yellow are budget figures. So I've got P&L, more P&L, expenses, and you can see them all in here. You can actually go in and change these if you wanted to. So you can overwrite things. It won't write it back into Xero. It's a one-way conversation. So Xero just talking to Spotlight in this case. And then you've got all of your assets coming in. You've got bank balances, and it's cleverly brought in what the highest and lowest cash balances have been that month in that bank account. Liabilities, equity accounts. In here, you can set some KPIs and some targets. I'm not going to go into that amount of detail in this video, but I can do it at a later date if anyone wants me to. And again, I've got some non-financial data in here. I always think that the quality of the report the output that you can give to your client is so much improved if you can include some non-financial data. So yeah, again, it's probably not for this overview video now, but there is a super easy way to get non-financial data into Spotlight and then to include it in your report. So once you've got your data in, you can then go into these nice screens. And this basically provides you with a layout. And there are lots of different templates you can use. I can see I've got a few up here. Some already pre-built ones. Look at them all. Standard ones, advanced ones, some industry style templates, which will bring in some KPIs for the variety of industries that you're working with. Some personal wealth templates, and then I've got my own ones that I've set up. So the idea is that you set up a template for your clients, which is a number of pages. So you can see here that I have got a cover page, a table of contents, executive summary, action plan, P&L, balance sheet, etc., cash flow, and some non-financial data. I can save those pages down as a template, and then I can bring any of my clients' data into that template, and it will produce the same output for you within with seconds. So it's super easy to do. And all you would do is just have a little look. So if I was to go into, for example, one of these, let's have a look at the balance sheet page. It's quite nicely brought in a very nice looking balance sheet. And I've chosen to actually include some nice graphs underneath, some popular graphs, which you can go in and customize. There are, I think, within Spotlight, there are, I think it's 160 different graphs. Now, that gives you a huge amount of choice to basically show a lovely visual for your clients. So this one, for example, just shows the balance sheet in a nice pie chart. So all of the numbers are put in different slots. So green being assets and orange being liabilities, and the darker the colour, the more liquid the asset or the liability is. You can change all of the different components on that graph. So there are a million different pages you can add in. Let me just show you. So if I wanted to add in an extra page for the P&L, I can do so. I can add in tracking category pages. And there are a lot of different graphs and KPIs and things that you can add into your report. I'll just show you one more of these. This is what we call the cash flow waterfall. So all you do here is type in the cash starting position from date and the to date, so the end position. And Spotlight will automatically tell you how the cash balances have moved. So we've got opening balance as at the 1st of October was 826,000. Since then, this client has received £1.2 million in physical cash in revenue. It has paid out cost of sales of 458,000, etc. I won't read them all down, to bring you to a closing balance of £1 million. That's just a really nice way, a nice visual for the client to see the cash flow statement. There are a lot of other ones that I can show you, but I will do that in a future video if you'd like me to go into the detail. And also, Spotlight has a huge amount of resource online that you can have a look at yourself. So for the sake of today's video, I can now show you that very quickly you can have a look at the actual report itself, which you can send to the client. You can white label this, you can put your logo on, the client's logo. I've got Bertie's Biscuits. Bertie is my dog. So I've just created a logo for that. And as you can see, it just brings down a very nice looking report, a very nice visual that you can send to your client. You could probably charge around about £300 to £500 a month for one of these. So yeah, all good. Really super easy, lovely visuals, as you can see, and some non-financial graphs at the end. So in a matter of seconds, I had somebody say to me this morning that they managed to update their report for their client on their phone. It's that easy. Yeah, in a matter of seconds, you can create this very lovely visual and send it over to your client. So there are a way of a few ways that you can do that. So you can email it, you can present it online like I'm doing now. You can obviously download it as a PDF. And once you're happy that it is the final version of the report, you can just publish it so that you know that that's the only, you can lock it down as the read-only version of the report, which won't then be changed by importing anything new coming in from Xero. So I hope that's given you a good overview of Spotlight reporting. Obviously, there are other different types of reports you can create, and you see that I've got quite a few different ones underneath here. And then forecasting. Forecasting is, again, it is a really nice tool. And like I said, if I just go into one of these, what it will do is connect up again with your Xero, your QuickBooks Online, your Sage, or you can import your actual data in from Excel or from Google Sheets. And from there, you can then choose to create a full three-way forecast going forwards, which is the most popular thing to do here. Or you can just simply create a P&L budget. And you can then push that back into Xero. So that can then be your budget or your forecast in Xero that you can then report your actuals against. From there, you can also create different scenarios. So you can see here, I've created one forecast. And then I've actually said, oh, what would happen if they actually disposed of a fixed asset? What's the cash impact of that? And that, again, gives the client an idea of what the cash impact of disposing of that fixed asset would be. So if I just take you into one of these, you get an idea of how this works. So you've got the three-way forecast. You've got the P&L, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement, all talking to each other. You've got the actuals coming in from Xero in these white boxes. These are locked down. You can't change them because obviously they're actuals. And then you can then go in and you can change things. So what people would normally do is go into each P&L line to start with. And you can do something like, if you wanted to, quite simply, you can adjust the P&L lines going forwards. You can add in a certain amount each month. You can adjust by percentage each month, etc. And you can do that for all of your P&L accounts. So, I mean, there are a million and one different things in here, and I won't go into the detail now. But yeah, there are different rules for different types of accounts. As you can see, you can adjust wages in exactly the same way. Or if you wanted to adjust wages a different way, you could set up drivers. So you could have a certain number of employees being paid an average salary. And you can set that up in here. And you can change that as the months go on. And the balance sheet is much the same. So there are rules within the balance sheet. So quite simply, I can look at, for example, pardon me, let's not look at that now. It's going to take some time. You can look at accounts receivable and you can choose what percentage of it you want it to be received next month, in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days, in the next 90 days. So you can set different rules depending on all the different account types. And then what it does is throw out the actual cash flow forecast for you, which is obviously what you're here to do. And it's all driven and it's all rule driven. So very exciting. You can see what's happened. From there, once you've done the work in the customized data tab, you can then create the actual report itself. So in the same style that you did the reporting report, you can choose which pages you want to bring in. So you can see here, again, I've got exactly the same for Bertie's Biscuits, exactly the same logos, all very nicely white labeled. it will show you an assumptions page. So any sort of rules that you put in, it will then output that onto a page if you want it to, so that your client and you can remember exactly what rules you've put in for that forecast going forwards. And then it will show you what the P&L budget looks like going forwards, what the balance sheet budget looks like going forwards, and what the cash forecast looks like going forwards. This is a super popular tool for people that want to go out to banks and get bank loans. Banks love this tool. They will look in a lot of detail at this and can really help your client secure that bank loan. So that was a really quick overview of exactly what the forecasting tool can do for you. And again, in the same style as the reporting tool, you've got a nice report coming out of it. So that is all good. Let me then take you into dashboards. Dashboards are the one-pager report. So let's have a look at this. Now, it might be that you've got a client that really doesn't need all of those pages of information, just needs a one page. Some clients will not be that interested in all of that information. So the dashboards tool allows you to, again, bring in your data, import your data, customize it exactly as you want. So again, I haven't really got to do anything in there. You can choose a template that you want the output to come into. So very, very quickly, it will then bring in the numbers for you. So it tells you what the revenue for the quarter was compared to the previous quarter, and whether that's an increase or a decrease quarter on quarter. And you get the idea. Net profit is exactly the same, and it gives you some nice markers there. So that's another super popular tool, just for a really simple one-page output for your clients. These usually sell for around about £150 an output that you can complete them really, really quickly. And in exactly the same way, you preview it and it looks very fancy and you complete it and you can send it off to your client. The next part of Spotlight reporting is Spotlight Multi. Now, Spotlight Multi, like I said, tends to be used for big franchises, Domino's Pizzas. So here I've got a fish and chips shop client, which I've created. And all I've done is add in some data for some make-believe fish and chip shops. And I've got Battersea Cod Home, I've got For Your Fries Only, and Hippie Chippy. Now, what you can do is obviously create their individual reports, but you can also create something called a multi-report. So let's edit this one and I'll sort of show you what I mean. Now, you can see within here, I have got lots of data coming in. So I've told Spotlight Multi which entities I want to import, and you can see I've imported from Excel on this case because I haven't got enough dummy data in Xero to be able to bring anything else in. But otherwise, you would do it from Xero or from QuickBooks. So you can bring in the data from all sorts of places. You don't have to just bring it all in from one place. You would customize it, and it then lands in the same look and feel as we've seen so far. But the beauty of this is you can analyze the different entities. So, for example, you might want to compare the fish and chip shops against each other. So I've got Battersea Cod's Home and I've got For Your Fries Only, and you can set all sorts of different columns up here. But that's just one page there. If I just show you the next one I was going to show you, you can rank them. And you can choose how you want to rank them. But you can say Battersea Cod's Home has got the most revenue. It's come number one out of all three this month. And you can anonymize or you can actually put their names in here. And then again, for gross profit, Battersea Cod's Home has won again. um, and for net profit, etc. So you can choose what you want the columns to be, and you can rank your franchisees every month, which is a very nice tool to have. And the other one I like here is exceptions. So you can set up where you would like your clients to lie. So what percentage of net profit is against target. Now you can then make that go red, like bad, or you can make that stay as black, depending on where you want each one to lie. And yeah, you can see here revenue against budget. So they're all under where they should be in terms of their revenue targets and their profit targets. But their gross profit target's not looking great either, because maybe that's a bit higher, maybe 60%. Their net profit target, however, is looking okay. So that is still black. Get the idea. You can create some competition between the franchisees, which is nice. And you can then preview this report. And again, you've got the same look and feel as we've had all the way along. And I've added some fish and chips there in case you're hungry. So yeah, and you can add some words, etc. So that's quite a nice module that Spotlight Reporting offer. And finally, there's one called Sustain, and this is quite a new module that or product that Spotlight offer. This is ESG reporting, which is a huge beast in itself. Let me just take you into one of these. So environmental, social, governance reporting, exactly the same. So it's slightly different. You can actually import data from Someday now. Someday is an ESG tool that a lot of companies are using. Or you can import your data from Excel. So all you do is bring your data in. I'll just show you the sorts of data it's capturing. So we've got carbon emissions, carbon offset, number of trees planted, energy usage, renewable energy, and you can give each category a target as well. There's the people side of things, so NPS scores, employee tenure, number of employee trainings, etc. A huge amount of data, but don't be scared by this data. You don't have to put all of this in. You can make a much smaller, lighter report. Charitable donations, money raised, sponsorship, volunteering hours, and then it can also look at customers, so training sessions, webinars that you've created, etc. You can see all sorts of information that you can put in, which then creates a very nice looking report. And as you can see, this can be absolutely huge, and it's super popular. If I just show you the preview of how this looks, I think this looks really, really nice. So contents, this is again quite a huge report, but you can see you can get the organization to write the ESG strategy, recommendations for action. I'll scroll through it quickly and put some lovely pictures and some visuals in here. So adoption of renewable energy, energy usage, CO2 emissions, trees planted, etc. Employee training, employee tenure, and you can add in some nice text boxes here so you can write some words in as well. This sort of report is huge in this day and age for the sustainability, the world that we're living in. NPS, health and safety. Yeah, so very nice. So let me take this back to the beginning. There is a huge amount of data within here, and I appreciate I've been through that really, really quickly. But Spotlight is a huge tool. So reporting, forecasting, dashboards, multi, and sustain. I hope you've enjoyed that whistle stop tour, and I hope you can see the value that you can really give to your clients using that really clever bit of tech. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and tune in for the next one. Thank you. Have a great day.